Hello again, and welcome back to another edition of Sheppard Speaks. I'm Brigadier General Kenyon Bell, the Installation Commander here at Sheppard Air Force Base, and I'm with our Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Dina Mosely. And it brings us great pleasure to be able to spend some time with the 80th Operational Support Squadron, another support function that supports the entire installation. And specifically today, we're going to spend some time with the Wizards of the Weather Flight.
Yes, indeed, sir. We're excited to be with the Wizards as we highlight the critical mission that they have for the installation, not only for the 80th Flying Training Wing, but also for the 82nd Training Wing. So we're excited to be here with our weather flight today.
You know, one of the things that we know, you can look up and you can see whether or not there are clouds overhead, you can tell whether or not it's hot outside, and certainly can predict yourself whether or not you need to walk out with a coat. But what the weather flight does for us is they help us plan efficiently so that we can accomplish our varied missions across Sheppard Air Force Base.
Yes, sir, and they look at a variety of weather models, and they do it 24/7, 7 days a week. Our weather flight is on it. And they're responsible for 9,000 square nautical miles of airspace where they conduct weather operations for the Euro-NATO Joint Jet Pilot Training, where they train our pilots, one of the largest here in AETC. So we're certainly super proud of them, and we're excited to get out here and see some of the wonderful things that our weather flight is doing.
No doubt about it. And of course, we all remember this spring where we had a couple of very significant events when the air warning horn went off and it sent us all to our shelters.
Yes, it did.
And that was pretty significant for me, and I remember exactly where I was when that first one went off. But so that's just a good reminder that the professionals here within the weather flight are paying close attention to what's going on with our weather patterns. So when you do hear those sirens, do heed the warning and make sure you seek shelter. So we're going to hear from a couple of the members of the weather flight. We're going to hear from Captain Simone Mitchell, the flight commander here, as well as one of the weather craftsmen, Staff Sergeant Jeff Pettis. Both of them hail here from Texas, so they're very familiar with the weather patterns, but more importantly, they are Air Force specialists and professionals in the weather arena. Let's hear from them and then we'll come back and close things out.
Our primary mission at Sheppard Air Force Base as a weather flight, we provide support to the 80th Flying Training Wing, which is primarily they do the ENJJPT program. So we provide a lot of support for the pilots. Support will include what we call a 175-1. That is a tailored forecast for a pilot to take off from Sheppard Air Force Base to a next location. It can be an Air Force base, it can just be flying around another installation. So they use those pretty frequently in their career field. And also we provide what we call a mission execution forecast. That's going to give you a forecast from the beginning of the flying hours, around 6 o'clock local, all the way to 20 local in the evening. And so they can kind of plan their weather, their flying operations around the weather that we provide for them in a timely manner. In addition to providing support for the ENJJPT pilot program, we also provide support to the 82nd Training Wing, mainly for the student maintainers and all the other trainees who come through Sheppard Air Force Base. So what we do is we provide ample warning time as far as advisories, watches, and warnings to allow them time to shelter in place in case of inclement weather.
I'm Staff Sergeant Jeffrey Pettis. I'm a weather craftsman for the 80th Operational Support Squadron. My responsibilities include weather forecasting and weather briefs. So basically, normal day starts off with showing up pretty early doing the weather briefs so the pilots can start planning their day, as well as the 82nd side can start moving their troops around. And then we start with the pilot briefs, the 175-1s. And that's basically just to get the best weather information that they can to where they're going and coming back. In the event that our weather sensors go down, we have the Kestrel 5500. What this basically is a handheld weather sensor. We can tell wind speeds, pressures, temperatures, and then the only thing that really doesn't tell for us is the cloud heights, which we can go outside and look at to determining height.
As you can see, what an important behind-the-scenes mission that the weather flight performs for us. It's a tremendous impact on the entire installation, and even though we may not see them every single day, we certainly appreciate what they do for us.
Yes, sir. And although we wish that we all could have a little more influence over how the weather goes here on Sheppard Air Force Base, that is unfortunately out of our control. However, what our weather flight does for us is they help our leaders be able to make decisions on how training will go for not only 80th, but for the installation as a whole. So again, they fit into the bigger picture, and we're certainly proud of them and the expertise that they bring to the installation.
No doubt, and we want to thank the Weather Wizards for allowing us to come in and learn a little more about their operation. We understand that the 80th OSS is a part of our mission partner, the 80th Flying Training Wing, an essential ingredient for the overall success of the installation. And we appreciate the squadron leadership here, Lieutenant Colonel John Scott, and the squadron superintendent, Chief Master Sergeant Wade Clegg. So thank you all for joining in today as we did a deep, in-depth tour of our 80th OSS weather flight. Join us again next week for another edition of Sheppard Speaks.